When attempting to implement transformational change in organizations, many managers will turn to the work of John Kotter as a guide. If you recall, John Kotter's change model includes 8 steps, including establish a sense of urgency, create a guiding coalition, develop a vision and strategy, communicate the change vision, empower broad-based action, generate short-term wins, consolidate gains to produce more change, and anchor change in the organizational culture. In this lesson, each step of the Kotter model is discussed, using Carl's car wash as the contextual example for making lasting change at the car wash. Carl is an owner of a local car wash that has struggled in the past months to maintain a steady flow of customers. The reasons for this change range from a poor economy to the recent building of 2 franchise car wash locations within 10 miles of Carl's car wash. Carl knows that if he does not do something quick to change the current status of his car wash, he will soon be out of business. After much deliberation and brainstorming, Carl has decided to introduce an interior shampooing service to the menu of services the car wash offers. The goal is to generate additional revenue and maintain a competitive advantage over other car washes in the area. From past experience, Carl understands how important it is to use a change model to guide the process of implementing this new service. He turns to Kotter's 8 steps. To establish a sense of urgency, Carl holds a meeting with his staff to discuss the current financial situation at the car wash. He informs his employees that they are all on the verge of losing their jobs due to the limited revenue coming into the car wash. Carl assures his employees that closing the doors to the car wash is the last thing that he wants to do, but that it is a reality that they are all facing. He explains the need for change at the car wash and shows the connection between making changes and creating job security for his employees. Carl's employees recognize their jobs as being in jeopardy and express their commitment to making whatever changes are necessary to secure the longevity of their jobs and the car wash. Now that Carl's employees understand the sense of urgency of the change, he must decide who his guiding coalition will be. This step will require Carl to select employees who will help him to see the change through. Carl chooses 5 employees. Maria to help with the logistics of acquiring the necessary equipment for the shampooing service. Jose and Mark to learn the process of shampooing and who will be tasked with training other employees on how to perform the shampooing service. Samantha for marketing the new service, and Adam to work on pricing of the new service. These 5 employees form the guiding coalition who will provide the necessary direction for developing and implementing the new shampooing service at the car wash. Carl must now think about how he will present this change to the rest of the employees. Creating a change vision will allow Carl to provide his employees with a clear understanding of what the change is all about. He must create a vision that connects the new shampoo service to long-term sustainability of the car wash. Once this vision is written, Carl must communicate the vision to his entire staff. Carl's employees will need to know what's in it for them. Therefore, Carl will need to show not only the connection between the new shampoo service and the long-term sustainability of the car wash, but also how long-term sustainability of the car wash will lead to the long-term security of their jobs. For the new shampooing service to be successfully developed and implemented, Carl also knows that he needs to spend time identifying and removing potential barriers to efficiency to empower broad-based action in his employees and the guiding coalition. Carl must make sure that his employees have all of the resources that they need to accomplish their respective tasks in the change process. He must also make sure the car wash has adequate staff to begin offering this new service and the means to promote the service to new and existing customers. Throughout the process, Carl will need to address any barriers brought to his attention by his staff immediately to keep the change process moving. Performance expectations and incentives will need to be provided to Carl's employees who are working on the new service. Carl ought to check in with his guiding coalition periodically to be certain he is acknowledging their successful efforts to keep them motivated to continue to work towards project goals. Such efforts should be recognized publicly as part of Carl's attempts at generating short-term wins. Again, recognition should include the work it took to accomplish that goal and what the completion of that goal means for the rest of the change process. To consolidate gains to produce more change, Carl will need to focus on the role of the early success as an enabler of future success. For example, after compiling results from a customer survey on the desire to see a new shampoo service added, Carl might hold a staff appreciation event where he shares the results from the customer survey that demonstrates the interest in the new shampoo service by existing customers and the projected revenue expected by those individuals. These events could be focused on team building at the same time, providing a platform for recognition of those involved in the project and their achievements, as well as the opportunity to demonstrate future milestones and reinforce the vision. Finally, once the new service has been added, Carl will need to anchor changes within the organizational culture. Carl will want to monitor the acceptance of the new service and how well the organizational culture is adapting to having it on the menu of services. This could be as simple as Carl asking his staff to discuss the service with potential customers, or even encouraging employees to explore new services independently, then report back to Carl on any services the car wash might consider adding to the menu. Such actions will better prepare employees to be ready for new services that might be introduced in the future. Let's review. In this lesson, Carl used John Kotter's 8-step change model to introduce a new interior shampooing service at his car wash. Specific steps of the model include: establish a sense of urgency, create the guiding coalition, develop a vision and strategy, communicate the change vision, empower broad-based action, generate short-term wins, consolidate gains to produce more change, and anchor change in the organizational culture. Each step of the Kotter model was discussed using Carl's car wash as the contextual example for making lasting change at the car wash. However, Kotter's model can be universally applied in a variety of change situations to promote the successful implementation of change in any organization.